managed forest, and there is logging going on right now. In fact, when Betsy and I were riding on Thursday, we almost got run over by 2 logging trucks. So be aware, okay? We're going to do our best to get off the mountain by 2, because that's when that blue sky is going to turn dark, or so my phone says anyway. So everybody's moving along really good, and we should be able to do it, you know, without any issues. This map isn't too good.
50-inch might be right.
Pre-ride, and it just wasn't long enough because we kept hitting 50-inch everywhere we went.
Everywhere you
Yeah,
went.
so it was all just up and back, you know.
Yeah.
And that made it kind of tough.
Well, so far, this has been beautiful.
Oh,
Yes,
it
absolutely.
has.
Yeah.
You guys did good work.
Yeah.
Good.
So they didn't know what had happened to it. So they launched 30 planes, and for 9 days, those 30 planes and the Civil Air Patrol scoured this area trying to find it, and they couldn't find it. So after 9 days, they ended the search. Well, in October of that year, 3-4 months later, a group of 3 cowboys were moving cattle. LeVar Brown was leading the group, him and his brother and one cowhand, and they saw a hand towel laying on a bush, and it was perfectly clean, nothing wrong with it. And they thought, what the heck's that doing out here? So they started looking around more, and then they found a wallet, and the wallet was from an airman. So they continued looking around, and then they found pieces of the plane, and the pieces of the plane that were actually strewn over a mile. So he got his best cow pony and took off on what they call a historic ride. He rode over 70 miles in 6 hours to get to a telephone. And the brother ended up getting angry with him because he had ruined that horse. He said that horse was never the same after that. Betsy got me a horseback ride, an hour horseback ride for Father's Day one year.
At Sundance.
Yeah. I couldn't walk for a week after that. So I can't even imagine this guy.
And you never thanked me.
Here's your chance.
The horse was named Chubbs. My legs were straight out. It was terrible.
That is so funny.
Anyway, so when he got back, he telephoned Salt Lake and told them what he had found. And they sent out a Major Heston, who was in charge of the recovery of the bodies and the analysis of what had happened. And Major Heston had a particular personal interest because the pilot of the plane was a very good friend of his. So they came into Loa, and the people of Loa put the whole group up. They ended up spending the night in the courthouse. They had a Jeep and 2 all-track trucks that they had, and it took them 3 days to get out here. And they had to have LeVar in the truck with them because he had to tell them how to avoid, there were places with quicksand out here. And he was able to keep them out of it, keep them going. So they got out here, they were able to identify, and pick up the bodies. And they determined that the plane had come apart in the air. And what had happened is there were 2 thunderstorms, and he had tried to go in between them. And I guess the pressure from both of them just literally tore the plane apart. And the way they determined that is that all the bodies were in perfectly intact. So it didn't crash and hit, it just literally exploded in the air. LeVar was given a letter of commendation for what he had done. And the people of Wayne County were actually given an Army or a Navy Corsair at the end of the war to use any way they wanted to, because of their tremendous support that they had had both in solving the mystery of the tragedy in the desert, which is what this was deemed, and their effort in war bonds. They were always tops in war bonds here in the state. They did a tremendous job. So very patriotic group here.
So was the crash up here, or was it down in the...
Yeah, it was down in here in what they call the middle desert. And well, it was actually behind, there's a ridge, there's 2 ridges that you can see, well 3 I guess, that you can see. The 3rd ridge with all the white back behind it is where it had gone down. And it was up against the ridge, the wreckage, so it was not as easy to see. Again, there's some foliage there, the Brigham tea bushes, that the cows really, feed on. And those Brigham T bushes were hiding the wreckage. And that's one of the ways they know that those cows were not Mormon, because they were having tea bushes. In Loa, there's a war memorial that they have, a veterans memorial, and there you'll see a granite block about this high. It's kind of rounded, and it has the story of what happened in the tragedy in the desert. So if you, on the way out, want to stop and take a look at that, I would recommend doing it. Reason number one is I wanted you to see that there was a lake with water in it. And reason number two is I want you to know that there's only 999 left for us to go to.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And that's about it.
Well, it's pretty.
He doesn't respond like Betsy.